I only have one thing I didn't write down, but I'm sure you're going to know what it is. So I'm trusting you.
Oh no. Oh no, Dan, never trust me.
I'm trusting you, Tony.
Okay, well listen, when it turns out that I do it wrong, that's on you. I'm not taking any responsibility for that.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
On this movie,
back to one. Back to one. Cut.
On this show, we movie. No, on this show, we movie. We movie.
It's the movies.
We watch a movie, we talk about the movie, and then we draw conclusions from our talk about the movie.
And generally, we're probably wrong, misguided, but it'll be fun.
And it's called Hate Watching, so we try to find things that we don't think we're going to like.
But if you like this podcast, what should you do, Dan?
You should like, subscribe, and even leave a comment. This one guy left a comment about the Marlboro Man movie, Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Oh, way back in the day. Okay, yeah.
And he said, we remarked how stupid it was that there was a girl writhing on top of a motorcycle at the motorcycle bar.
But he liked it.
He was like, it's a motorcycle bar. You guys didn't get it. I'm like,
No. We get it. I just don't think that's good.
It was dumb.
It's very dumb.
If it actually made some sort of sense I'm sure there are motorcycle bars that have girls that do, sexy dances on motorcycles, but it's not just
hopefully, and guys. Let's try to keep it even.
Guys,
guys can be. Imagine. Let me throw this out to you, Dan.
What
if Channing Tatum was on that motorcycle, his abs glistening from the oil he had just previously put on? He's got a hat that he's waving around, and he's just writhing on it. I'm into it now. You know what I'm saying?
There it is.
I'll take that.
We know what Tony likes.
Channing, if you're hearing this, just call me. Just call me, man.
I rewatched that movie. This is the end of the world movie by that.
Oh God, yeah.
And Channing comes in there and he's just all like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do the." Because they called him. It was like, "Channing, will you do this part?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, hell yeah."
You better believe I'm gonna do this part.
Him and Danny, what's his name, were just
McBride.
Danny McBride.
Who I don't love, but
Danny
in small
McBride.
Doses, he's wonderful. Perfectly used in that movie. Perfectly used in Tropic Thunder.
He's so good in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
he knows how to hit his mark. He knows what he's doing.
Right. But if you give him too much to do, he loses his mind. He goes crazy.
He can.
That's my theory on it.
So we pick a movie, and this week Tony picked a movie, and Tony, why don't you give us a little background on the movie you picked?
Well, we were in a family friendly mode.
We were.
I feel like whatever we did last week was family friendly. Five Nights at Freddy, family night.
Kind of.
So I was like, let's keep this family orientated.
Yeah.
Oriented. Family oriented. We went to orientation.
Yeah.
And got oriented. I don't know how this came out. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just happens to be on my list, and I was like, sure, let's do the Emoji movie with T.J. Miller, Problem Child.
This was he in No, he wasn't in Problem Child. The movie.
No, he is the problem child. Yes.
Was he canceled after this?
I don't know if it was before or after. He was canceled at some point. I'm sure nobody cares anymore, but I remember for sure that he got in trouble.
Now, he was in, what's the Big Six? What is the Baymax movie? He was in that movie and did one of the voices in that movie.
Okay.
And he was great. So I was like, well, okay.
No. Was that before or after this movie?
I believe it was before this movie. Went
downhill.
2017, hour and 26 minutes, about 9 minutes of credits. So you're only having to sit through an hour and 17 minutes of the Emoji movie, which you will thank.
Let me say something real quickly though, Dan.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a very long time. I fell asleep 3 separate occasions in this movie, and I had to rewind the film.
I'm going to say something controversial.
Uh-oh.
They should have made this movie longer if they wanted it to actually work. This
If
movie,
they wanted it to make any sort of sense whatsoever.
this movie goes along at a fairly breakneck clip
Yeah.
of things happening.
It sure
Things
does.
just happen. And so there is, and you end up with zero development of anything.
Well, because things happen, but we don't deal with anything. There's no sort of reflection on it. There's no sort of, oh, this impacts me in this way. We just keep going and people are themselves. And then at the end, everyone's themselves. I don't know.
The guy that made this movie, he
Talk to me.
did a bunch of sort of secondary things at Disney, and then he went over to Sony and made this movie, directed it, co-wrote it with another guy who didn't have anything else that I saw, and Mike White, who did the White Lotus. Mike White, I believe.
No, it's the same Mike White. Wow.
I think he came in and probably, was like, they're like, we need more poop emoji jokes. And he probably wrote them a bunch of poop emoji jokes, which they picked the worst ones and then used those. But this guy wanted to make a Toy Story type of movie.
Okay. There's a couple problems with that.
There's a couple problems. I think he succeeded in making a Toy Story type of movie and really showed us why people need to stop trying to make Toy Story types of movies. Because unless you're like a really good film, I mean, I'm not a gigantic Toy Story fan, but I'm like...
Dan, we know.
I'm fine with that movie. It's a good movie. It's enjoyable. It's perfect for kids.
And adults to infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
Are we going to get sued for that? I feel like that's probably copyright.
But the whole thing with a stupid movie like Toy Story is it sets up all these parameters of a world, and it's, the toys are alive, and the stupid kid that owns the toys then of course grows up and wants to get rid of the toys, but then the toys want him to keep them, and then and it's just like, it's this whole sort of really untenable emotional situation. This is not, it's the world of Toy Story does not exist in the world. It couldn't, because if everybody's sets of toys were out there doing things, it would become very apparent very quickly. They've carved out this sort of fairy tale existence. They're like a fairy tale. They're like a fairy tale existence. And within the fairy tale, it works. But once you start branching outside the fairy tale, the whole thing falls apart, and you're like, this is stupid.
Sure. But at least that fairy tale has a set of rules and guidelines that it follows.
Yeah. And so when someone comes along like this guy that made this movie, he's like, oh, I can just make up a bunch of rules and then say these things are happening and say the characters are having an emotional roller coaster, and then none of that happens and none of it works, and the whole world is dumb and you hate yourself.
You hate yourself. Here's my thing, right? I would have never compared this to Toy Story, so thank you for bringing that up.
Good.
Toy Story, there is an interconnected relationship between the toys and Andy. Yeah. That's the whole basis of the movie.
Yes.
These emojis don't give a shit about, I forgot his name. I don't even remember the kid's name.
It starts with Alex.
It starts with Alex, so it's Alexander. I see what you're saying. There's no relationship between the two things, which is ridiculous because we are all addicted to our phones. There is a very clear relationship between humans and their phones that you can play with on a grand scale that everyone will understand. But instead, there's an absolute disconnect. Nobody cares about what he's doing. This should be about helping him find his girlfriend, right? But that's just like a tangential thing that's just kind of happens because this main character is going on this journey to fix his face. Is this a cosmetic surgery movie? I don't even know, Dan. It just doesn't make any sense.
What was that? There was the one with... you had all the emotions in your head, and then they run around in your head.
Inside Out,
which I remember seeing, and I think I enjoyed it.
It's great. Yeah, it's great.
do they help the girl get to where she needs to be?
Well, yeah, because they're connected, because they're inside her. It's all about her going through emotions and learning that emotions are okay, yada, yada, yada. Again, this movie, not at all that.
Yes.
There's no connected, there's two separate storylines that just happen to be like kitty corner. Catty corner, which way do you go? Kitty or catty?
Well, catty corner, I believe, is the right way to say it. Kitty corner.
It's not the right way. I'll tell you that right now. I grew up kitty corner in Minnesota, so maybe it's a Midwest thing. I don't know, but I didn't hear catty corner until I moved out here to LA.
Kitty corner is the wrong way to say it, I believe.
I'm gonna find some history on this, Dan. See which one came first.
Look it up. Yeah. So when you're trying to do these, multiple layers of worlds and create them, you have to be really careful. And Pixar, which I think made Inside Out and made Toy Story, I believe, they do spend a lot of time with a lot of people in a lot of rooms talking about those things to try to get them right. Because if you're going to make somebody care about something stupid, like an emoji, you better have that all sorted out. This thing, you don't ever care about any of the relationships, emoji or the human relationships, and then you just don't care. You just are so indifferent to everything.
I don't care because they don't care. You know what I mean? Like Buzz and Woody care about Andy. That is Woody's almost entire driving force, is that he loves Andy, but also he wants Andy to love him back.
Yeah.
These characters don't care about Alex. Alex doesn't actually care about the emojis. He's just like, oh man, my phone's acting weird. I better restart it. Wow, what a storyline. Oh my goodness, I'm hooked. It's ridiculous. So if they don't care, I'm not going to care. That's for sure.
And boy, did we not care.
Boy, they succeeded on that level.
But once again, I will say about this movie, because we so don't care about anything in this movie, I don't know that I hated this movie. I was
okay, good.
I was just truly indifferent to this movie in a complete way. So I got to the end, and Shannon's like, "How was it?" I'm like, stupid.
It's stupid. I hate this movie, so that's good.
Good.
Okay.
You hated it. Good.
Yeah. No, I'm all fired up. Let me give you the baselines of why I'm fired. It's just one simple thing. What are the rules, Dan? What are the rules of the emojis? Let me explain.
They're walking around inside the phone, and then there's like the icons for things, and they walk into
them. The phone are like this. So are they actually walking on the surface of my LCD screen? What does this mean? I don't even. And then they just go inside the app through the square?
You know who we should ask?
Who should we ask?
Michael Mann.
Michael Mann. Listen, at least his makes a little sense, right? We're traveling through wires for 8 to 10 minutes at a clip.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay. So what don't you understand about it?
Well, that's number one. I don't understand the world. Full stop. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Because then they go inside an app and it's like a whole world. But that's a little square. I don't even understand what's happening. So I don't understand when they're walking around the phone. It makes no sense.
Have you ever watched Doctor Who?
I'm going to tell you something that might turn some people off, Dan. I have never seen an episode in my entire life.
Do you know what the premise of Doctor Who is?
He's like a doctor that travels in a telephone booth.
And it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Sure, but here's my problem. No. But then why are they walking around the phone? Why is it a big square that reaches out to the sky?
It's to hold all that stuff.
It's the whole day. I'm going to slap you silly. Okay, number two, Dan.
Yeah.
Number two, what are the rules of the emojis themselves? Because the rules that they're trying to tell me is that you can only be one thing.
Yeah.
And he's weird because he's more than one thing. Everyone else has emotions, has full range of emotions. Everyone else, except for him and his parents, are supposed to be the only ones that don't have a range of emotions. Let's look at hand for the high five, right? Why does high five have a mouth? Why is he talking? My high five on my phone doesn't have a mouth. He doesn't have eyes. Doesn't make any sense. If he has to be exactly like he's going to be captured, how can something look completely different? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
Also, he has all sorts of emotions. right? He's happy, he's sad, he's laughing, he's angry, he's doing all these things. But then our emoji guy has emotions, and all of a sudden he's broken.
And special.
Explain to me the rules.
Well, when the time comes, then they like freeze.
No. Okay, I understand that he messed
he's
up.
the only emoji who doesn't know how to do the freeze.
Great, but that's not
what
the movie's
what it is.
about. But that's not what they're telling me the movie's about. They're telling me that he's broken because he has other emotions.
Well, see, that's the thing. See, your problem is I think a very, very surface problem. My problem's deeper than that. Is that they just tell us that and they don't even show him.
Okay, agreed with that as well. Listen, I'm going down a list of complaints here. I'm just saying, in general, the premise of your movie falls apart in minute 2.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. But see, Smiler's always smiling and you could say she's being forced to smile.
Right. So I don't understand, but she's the only one that has a fixed face.
But
all the other emojis, like
but she
poop
doesn't.
Emoji has all sorts of faces. None of it makes any sense. And also, his parent, she's a great, Dan, you're right. She's a great example because she's always smiling. She's got the same face on, but her actions, her emotions are always different. Now, his parents are always meh. Their emotions do not change. It's not just their face, it's their emotions. Those two characters don't make sense in the same world. Well,
they've perfected it. Smiler's it's a front. The Meh parents.
Well, then isn't she
meh.
broken? Shouldn't she be deleted?
I mean, why do they even decide that he's broken? Do they have like a trial or something? I don't remember.
Is there a trial? I mean, they say he's broken because he has more than one emotion. His parents are like, you're weird because you have more than one emotion. And then we meet the very next person and their emotions are all over the board. It doesn't make any sense. But the reason why they decide to murder him is because of the capture incident where he does the wrong face, which doesn't make any sense because why would he even make the wrong face?
Because something happened. I don't know. We'll get to that part.
We're not going to get to it. This movie's bad.
What other problems do you have, Tony?
You know what? Those are the big ones. Let's dive into the movie. We're into this podcast. You got one more?
I have just one more thing. Like all the negative reviews I read of this said that the movie was sort of loud and frenetic and over the top. And I didn't find that at all. I found it very like...
Yeah, I didn't find that at all either.
It didn't... Like if you had it on the background, I mean, maybe it wasn't all, but that was the feeling I got when I initially was sort of going into this movie is that people were like, it's too much. And then I got to it and I was just like, well, I guess they sort of throw a lot of jokes out at some points.
Jokes.
We used
jokes.
We used the word.
I love the loose term.
We used the word joke to stand in as for a thing that someone wrote that they think is a joke.
Yeah, great.
Joke does not mean that it lands and people laugh because most jokes in most movies like this do not. I mean, I never laughed once. There was no joke in this thing.
I wrote down. I had one laugh.
Oh, you got one. Okay, good.
I had one laugh. Hopefully, I'll remember to say it when we get to it.
Good. One joke.
My other complaint, now I remember, is that their apps are wrong. They do apps incorrectly. Some of them look like the app. Some of them are completely different to the app, and that doesn't make any sense. Product placement, Dan. This one's heavy with it.
Yeah. So we start off, we show a phone, and then we do an emoji thing, and then the emoji appears on the Columbia woman's face.
Great. You didn't laugh there? Wow.
No.
Swing and a miss, huh?
Also, when I was walking around before I started watching this movie, I was like, you know what this movie's going to do? It's going to start with this big, long exposition that it tries to explain the whole world to me. This movie starts with a big, long exposition that tries to explain how the world is.
Did it help?
I
didn't even write anything down.
This is the world we live in, the magical world of the smartphone. This is our user, Alex. He's a freshman. Now, what does that mean? It's a freshman. Does that mean he's...
First year of high school. So he's probably, 15?
Okay, so he's a freshman in high school. And then
Now here's the thing.
yeah,
And this is why the movie fails so hard, is because they introduce their world very briefly, and
yeah,
then they say, this is our user, Alex.
yep,
All of the emoji's actions need to be about Alex. And then they go into a panic because something is wrong and they're not helping Alex, right?
yeah.
He's the user. It has to be about Alex, but it's not. We see him at the beginning, and then we see him a little bit in the middle, and then we see him at the end, but none of them mean anything.
The other thing with this movie is Alex's problem is that he is a perfectly normal, perfectly
Yes.
untroubled kid who's trying to get the attention of a girl, and he's
Who is way out of his league, by the way.
okay. And the phone sort of messes up and sort of sends her things, and she sort of thinks he's weird, but not really. And then at the end, when the magic things happens, then she's like into him.
Yep. Which is stupid because this emoji that they make up is ridiculous. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
The whole human thing is just like, it's not even a journey. You really do not even care
No.
about it. When they get back to it, you're just like, oh, okay.
I forgot you were here, Alex.
Yeah, he's just really no part of anything.
Yeah, and if this were a movie about him learning something in order to get over his whatever shyness or lack of confidence, whatever it is that you want to put into his emotions, if this movie is them helping him get over that and then he talks to the girl, great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. I love it because we all have those. We all have that moment in our lives where like we're too nervous or too shy or too scared, whatever it is, and we need something to get. I don't love the message that it's your phone that would help you get over it, but if that's the story you want to tell, I'm into it.
Yeah, you gotta give him maybe not a negative trait, but a trait that needs to be overcome. He needs to overcome something, and his overcomedness is getting the attention of a girl, which is not a thing. That's not a thing.
It's not a thing. And also the only reason he ends up making her not like him is because his phone sent the wrong emoji. You know what I mean? Like if it had sent the right emoji, they probably would have just talked immediately. Now, let me ask you a question, Dan.
Yes, ask me a question.
If you are on your phone texting, let's say you're texting me, right?
I would text. I text you the owl.
You text me the owl.
That's
you
my go-to emoji.
But then your phone sends a crocodile. Are you just going to be okay with that?
No.
Immediately, you're like, "There's something wrong with this phone. Then I need to get rid of it."
No, I'd send you more to see what other weird things it would do.
Just start pushing buttons and see what happens. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Actually, you're right. So you would do something though. Yes. He's just like, oh man, I'm so embarrassed. My phone sent the wrong emoji on its own. That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then later in class, I mean, I know jumping around, but later in class, his phone is playing music. It's playing apps on its own. Like, this is not something that happens in the world.
Well, more importantly, what does that have to do with the emojis?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Very good. So
it's great stuff. This is, speaking of emojis, by the way, my stress ball is an emoji.
There it is. My stress ball is a tomato.
Tomato.
This is my home, Textopolis. We're the faces. Oh, yeah, the faces. Pressure's on. I'm a meh. Then there's donuts. Stick to your own face. I guess the donut yells at him because he's doing the wrong face.
It says, stick to your one face, weirdo. But other people are allowed to make other faces. This is why I get confused.
Yeah.
Like, Poop can make any face he wants, right?
Say whatever he wants.
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants. That doesn't make any sense.
So
they have to be exactly like they are on the screen. Otherwise, he shouldn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? Like, he can't have different rules than everybody else. That doesn't make any sense. If there's only one, if you have to look the exact same all the time, then everyone has to look the exact same all the time.
And then that should be the whole society, right? The whole society is walking locked into this. I'm pizza emoji, pizza emoji, pizza emoji.
Exactly. 100%. But they don't do that. They just are like, if you are a face, you have to make the face. If you're not a face, you can do whatever you want. So it wouldn't make sense to tell a story about someone who can do whatever they want. Well, stick with the faces because they're the only ones with a rule.
They should have been like singled out and live in like a
I don't know. This is dumb. It's a bad premise.
house. Um, whoop, whoop, whoop,
In a
whoop.
house.
He's supposed to only say may, meh, but all he does is get excited. All excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. You're like, okay, you really want to get? Yeah, whatever. He's going in. It's his.
He's going in.
It's his first day. We do a shrimp on the Barbie joke, and that's when you know the level of jokes. It's like they're just gonna go for things that are 30, 35, 40 years old and be like,
And my question is, do kids, because I don't know, do kids still find that simplistic sort of joke funny? Because if they do, then, I guess this movie is just for kids. Like, a Toy Story has some nice adult jokes mixed in with kids' jokes, and everybody can enjoy it.
well, I think the kids are going to like the poop emoji jokes, no matter what they are, right? They're going to find that funny. They're going to find them funny. It's Patrick Stewart doing the poop. They're going to find that funny. Yeah. And those jokes are they're not funny, but they're fine. They're just like, okay, don't touch my hand. I'm covered in poop because I am poop. There's a joke, something like that. It's not exactly how it goes.
It's not how it goes, but it is the sentiment, and it's not a great joke. There's a point because they're like, should we wash our hands? And then they laugh about it because they're coming out of the toilet, which I would love to talk about deeper because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
However.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so what was my point? I don't know. I had a point in there somewhere. Oh, kids. So kids want the feels. They like Toy Story because it means something. Because they imagine themselves as the kid and they love their toys. I would assume.
Well, also, and us grown-ups who used to have toys that threw out their toys, it hits you in the feels because it's like, man, those were good times. I loved those toys. Clearly, they loved me. Toy Story told me that. It hits you in the feels. Toy Story, is it 3 or 4 when it goes to college? Holy shit, that destroys you.
Destroys you. You're supposed to say destroys me.
Sorry, yeah, it destroys me. Did you not watch it?
My dad.
You're heartless, Dan.
My dad made me watch the one where they drive in like a car.
Drive in a car? I don't know what that means.
But I mean, that's the thing. No one has, we love our phones. We can't live without our phones, but we don't go I remember having an Apple 2.A, and that was the greatest day of my. Oh, I wish I had that Apple.
You say that, Dan. Let me tell you a little story. Let me spin you a yarn.
Bring me back my flip phone. I was totally the fastest texter in the world. I've told this story so many times
already before, huh? This is.
Yeah, but you would buy a new phone that has similar features to that one because you would want to do that. But you would not ever. You might buy that phone and put it on the shelf as a collectible, but you wouldn't want to use that phone.
Sure. That's true. But I do have fond memories of my phone.
Sure.
I remember a ton of phones I have. I used to have a flip phone that had a Washington Wizards faceplate on it, which I had custom made. And that was a great phone. I still have it. It's at my parents' house.
Oh, well, there it is.
I have all of my old cell phones on a shelf in my parents' house. I am weirdly attached to them.
Well, there it is. You're the idiot that should love this movie.
But I hate it, and that's the problem. I am your target audience for this movie about phone-addicted people, and I hate your movie because you screwed it up.
Okay, so boom, emoticons. Oh my colon, they're old. Why are you laughing, freak? Yeah. Oh, why are you laughing, freak? They call him a freak.
Yeah. Yeah, because he has the same emotions as everybody else in the movie except for his parents.
The parents are both mez, and they're all worried about him. You're not ready, and it's like, okay.
Now, Dan, let's just talk about, I don't know, what is it, genealogy? Is that the right word here?
Sure.
Okay, so his parents are the male and female meh emoji, right?
Okay.
Who made them?
Probably some coder.
Okay, so you're saying they're first generation. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, there's no reason for him to exist. I mean, is he a different man?
It doesn't make any sense. So let's just look at it for a second. So you got the male and female meh, And now he's the male meh. Who's going to be the female meh?
Is there a male and a female meh?
I don't know the answer to that, Dan. But his mom is a female meh. So why, if it doesn't exist, why is she there?
She's there to get impregnated by the male meh to make a new baby meh. Right? Isn't that?
No, a Stark flies over and drops the baby meh in his lap. That's how babies are made. I just don't understand. You have to think about the world you're building.
No, but
because it doesn't make sense.
We need them for the plot. And
well, then write a different plot. That's my answer to that.
Okay, so he goes to work. It's his first day on the job. Oh wait, no, his parents are like, I don't fit in. We don't know. And this is the problem with the movie. He says, I don't fit in. And it's like, you just figured out that you don't fit in because you walked across there and pizzas said you're an idiot? Or, it's like, and he's not affected.
Or have you always felt that way?
He's not affected by it.
Yes.
Right? The guy calls him an idiot. Like when I call Tony something mean, which I do.
It does happen.
After the show, Tony sits there and cries because it's so terrible to his ego.
Oh, you think you have so much power over me, Dan Goodsell. I don't cry. I don't shed tears over you.
But that's the whole thing. You gotta, if you want to have something like that, you gotta, it's a classic. You gotta show us that he's actually being affected by he doesn't ever seem like he's actually worried that he's going to screw up.
And you know why that's weird?
Why is it weird?
Because the whole movie is about him having too many emotions. And yet he doesn't have the base emotional responses that he needs to have.
He doesn't start with the real emotions and then build, and figure Alex needs to be shy. He needs to be shy, but they want them.
Love that.
They want him to be TJ Miller over the top. And the director guy was like, when I was thinking about who'd play Gene, his name is Gene.
Gene.
I don't get that. What's the joke there? Is there a joke?
There isn't a joke. I'm 100% sure there's not a joke.
Shouldn't his name be like Filbert or something? It should be
something very meh.
Yeah. Like
I listen, I don't know.
Like Pat.
You think that people thought that hard about it?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't fit in, and then the dad's like, what if you make the wrong face? And then he's all like, I'm going to prove to you. So wait, this is about him proving to his dad?
I don't know what it's about, Dan. This is what I'm telling you. It is weird because the dad is like, what if you make the wrong face? But we haven't seen him make other faces yet, have we?
Who, the dad?
No, the son. I guess he must have made another face because someone was like, use your one face.
Yeah, he's always making faces. Yeah, he walked around town and did a
but
thousand different things.
He's not making emoji faces, right?
Well,
he's just having personality, which again, everybody else has. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very confused on the rules. Listen, his dad doesn't believe in him, and I should understand that, and that should resonate with me, and it doesn't.
Disapproving dad.
That's an easy trope to deal with. Easy. Guess what they don't do?
Ever do anything with that.
Ever do anything with it whatsoever.
First day at the job, we meet Smiler, who's sort of in charge, and she smiles. It's weird. And basically there's this big grid of cubes, and then they all just stand there, and then there's this machine that goes across, and then when it gets to the person thing, the emoji he needs, it takes a picture, and then the emoji goes up to.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, Dan.
And then the favorites all get to hang out in a Red Rope Club, and there's no love for High Five, and they kick High Five out. Do you want to talk about High Five now, Tony?
What do you want to talk about? This?
Why does he have a Band-Aid on his finger?
That's a great first question. Let's start there. I have no idea. Because guess what? I've never seen an emoji high five with a Band-Aid. What's the joke?
I don't know.
What is the joke? Why does he have a Band-Aid?
I don't know.
Why does he have a face? Why does he have a personality? Toy Story, there are toys that don't talk. They just he should just be a hand that somehow communicates with his hand. Oh, he's sad right now. Oh, he's excited right now. There should be different hand motions, and that's how he communicates, kind of like a dog. And then we can get attached to him when he gets all sad and curled up and then, walks off with his fingers all curled because he's depressed. I don't understand. Why is he telling jokes? Why is he talking to me? I don't get it. I don't get the rules.
Because he's a high five.
He's a high five. Well, he's a high four because one of his fingers is all messed up.
So Alex, it's in hieroglyphics class. They're talking about hieroglyphics, and the teacher's like, "You have a thing like hieroglyphics," and then they're all on their phones, and you're like, I don't think you can sit on your phone in class. I don't think
for sure
that exists
not.
in any school anywhere that all the kids are on their phones during class. I think that teacher.
No, I got a lot of teachers in the family, Dan.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
That's not. It's a problem.
Sure.
It's definitely a problem you have to deal with. I know my brother-in-law has a basket, and you got to put your phone in the basket at the beginning of the class, which is the most intense I've ever heard. But he does. I think he's high school, so I think it's like a little more serious there. And then my sister-in-law is middle. And so they just, it's just like, put it away. If I see it, put it away. If I see it, you lose it. You know what I mean?
You lose it for the day, or she takes it, she stomps
they can't take it. They can't take it for all. I think it's just actually the class. Because I think it's like, as soon as you leave my class, you can have it back. But I'll take it. I'm going to take it.
Kids are not on their phones. And I mean, I'm sure they are, but not every kid in class is just.
Every kid, and the teacher's just cool with it? Nope. No, he would be screaming his head off.
And that's stupid. It's just like, you've got to do things correct. That, if you're setting up a world, it has to mirror our world.
But that's the real world. You're not even setting it up. That's just you just have to live in the real world with other humans. You don't even have to create any rules. Just follow the rules already set by society.
And this is how hard it is to find someone that knows a teacher that can explain it to you. Ask a human being a question. Oh, well, tell me about how it works. And boom, you have a set of rules. Let's see the set of rules. No set of rules. Okay, so he's all like, I got to reply to Addie. And then he's going to he was going to pick Meh to reply to her? Why? So
that's his
first thing,
great question.
He's trying to reply to the girl he's hot for, and Meh is what he's going with. No,
bad move.
It's not even a bad move. It doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. If his stupid friend's like, you got to play it cool, hit her with the Meh, teach that B word.
Yeah, don't teach that B word a lesson. Don't come in here with your positivity. Good, Dan. Yeah, this is nice. Teach the kids.
And so he does the whole thing, and then everything crashes.
But again,
tell him what happens, Tony.
He freaks out.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Gene.
Greg? Gene. Thank you. Gene panics in his box for some reason. All he has to do is make a face, but he panics, runs around, knocks things over, and then he makes a weird face that isn't an emoji. So Alex sends an emoji that does not exist in the world, and nobody is like, that's interesting. Honestly, here's a problem with the movie. If somebody sent me an emoji that does not exist and I've never seen it before, I'm immediately going to respond, where did you get that? I want that. I'm going to be interested in the thing that's never existed before this moment in time. I'm not going to ignore it and be like, oh, he's weird. He sent me a custom emoji. You're going to want it. You're going to want it. She wants that emoji. What were we talking about?
That's my question. I wrote that was a snot blowing emoji.
Yeah, because something's coming out. There's a bubble. Yeah.
Maybe a bubble. Whatever. And so he has broken the system, and then this Smiley gets mad. She says, you're a malfunction. And then she wants one more chance, and he's sad, and he's like, goes home, and he's all like, I'm a malfunction.
Yep.
You embarrass me. I must find my purpose. So then they have a board meeting. Smiler does a whole flossing thing. That was weird.
Yeah, there's a whole quote-unquote bit where she's got dentistry tools. She flosses, then she's got a picker, the thing they use to get plaque off. She's got that because I guess, she's taking care of her big smile.
It was really weird.
It's super weird. No one they don't make a joke out of it. It's very strange.
So Smiler then just fires up the antivirus bots and is like, kill Gene.
Now, Dan,
Yeah.
why would the emojis have antivirus?
To kill Gene.
Can you? Oh, okay. Sorry, my mistake.
Well, because the emojis have to take care of all the bad stuff, which includes trolls and viruses and things like that.
Why?
Because the emojis are the things that police the entirety of
The phone?
Textopolis.
Like I don't understand. Shouldn't the phone send there should be a bigger world because individual apps don't have antivirus unless it's an antivirus app, right? You have an app that is the antivirus that protects the phone.
You know who it is? It's the master system, or what was it in Tron?
I haven't seen Tron.
MCP.
Great. That's great.
Ah.
That's wonderful. They should be panicking. The whole world, Textopolis should be like, oh shit, we're in trouble now because the phone thinks that we're malfunctioning. So the phone is sending someone to kill him. Not it's his own people within his own app for some reason that's policing themselves. It doesn't make any sense in a phone.
Well, we only have an hour and about 17 minutes, so we got.
Well, you're right about that.
We got to put Smiler, which is just.
And then he should travel to the master control system, and he has to prove his worth to him and be like, "It's okay that I have emotions. We are fully functioning emojis. Something.
I can do this. I can save Alex's relationship." And he's all like,
exactly.
He's all like, "No, you can't." And then he's like, "I'll show you." And then he sends himself through the system. And then she's like, "Look at this emoji. It's an elephant with hemorrhoids. Oh my God. I've never seen this. I wanted this elephant with hemorrhoids."
There's something wrong with your brain, man. That was your first go-to. Elephant with hemorrhoids. I love it. I'm in 100%. If someone sent me that emoji, I'm best friends with them forever.
Okay, High Five sneaks into the favorites, and then Mez there. He's trying to sneak in, and then Mez running, and so then they run together, and they go down to the loser lounge. He's like, I got someplace we can go to the loser lounge. And who's in the loser lounge, Tony?
Uh-oh. I don't remember.
That's where
who is it?
Isn't that where the trolls are?
Yeah, probably.
More importantly, the person that's there is the eggplant is there.
The eggplant, the one that gets used all the time.
Why would the eggplant be in the losers? Wouldn't the eggplant be in the Wouldn't the eggplant be the top center one?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm not. Listen, we don't have to talk about why, but it gets used. Let's just say that.
There it is.
So let me ask you a question about this losers club here. Why aren't they just deleted? Okay. Great.
More importantly, do you really have like a favorites? I guess you have a little favorites emoji thing. But you don't have a losers.
I don't think they did a great job. You don't have a losers panel, but you do have, like, when you click on something, you have a list of your most used emojis. Yeah. And I think they should have, I'm assuming that's what they were going for. They didn't do it well. But there should be a list of like your most used, and that's like, oh, I'm the superstars, you know?
Yeah, what are your most used, Tonys?
Eggplant, this one, because they go together. No, I do the crying emoji a lot. I'm not going to lie to you, because I use it for both sad and laughing, you know? There'll be like a laugh, ha, and then a ha, because I'm laughing and crying, right? So that one's up there a lot. And then a heart is up there because I love to love things. That's all I know. That's all I know for sure. I'm sure I got some good ones.
Owl.
You do, so you really do love the owl. I thought that was a joke.
No, that's true. Small bluebird's head, small yellow bird's head.
You're So you're like an old bird watcher.
I don't know. Those
That's what it
I
reminds
was
me.
about
That's
to-
what exactly what a bird watcher would send me.
those whatever like whatever's the cutest ones, and those are the cutest
It's the
ones.
cutest ones. Oh, so pure.
Okay, so what he's a malfunction. So what he needs to do is find a hacker, Gene. The High Five. Why is High Five called High Five as opposed to a real name? And Gene, who's meh, has a name.
Boy, Dan, that's another wonderful question that will never have an answer. Because there are different rules for different characters. That's the answer.
So they got
Also, what is a hacker in this world, Dan?
someone who hacks the system.
But what is that? How do they do that? Because so far, all she does is just walks around. She's not doing any hacking. She's not changing code.
Yeah, she does that later.
You're right. You're right. She does. They do a little code later. That's true.
There it is.
I don't know how she does it from inside, but it's great.
So we need to go to the piracy app and find Jailbreak. So to continue to get away, they use a cactus and Christmas trees as disguise, and then they go to the wallpaper, and then they go to WeChat where there are bubble pups. I didn't understand WeChat and the bubble pups.
I don't even remember.
They were like these puppies that were sort of bubbles, and they were sort of white. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. Maybe is that the mascot? I honestly don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. We're not going to worry about it because
we won't dwell on things we don't know.
WeChat is a thing that no longer exists, and so they paid to be in the movie, and it didn't happen. You know.
Is that true? I mean, I had never heard of it.
Well, look at it. You look it up while I mention the next thing.
All right, yeah, mention the next thing.
So his parents have gone looking for him for what reason we don't know, and then to save him or something him or whatever him, and then they're being followed by the bots because the bots are like, they're going to be able to find their son. We'll follow them, and then that will be that. And it's like, okay.
So WeChat is big in China.
There it is.
That's what I've learned here. And their logo is like a chat box with a face, kind of.
Okay.
Or a chat bubble, like a comic book chat bubble.
So that's what the bubble pups are.
I guess that makes sense-ish.
We don't know what it is, but they were hoping that the people in China would like it and smile.
Listen, they have money probably, so they're like, put us in the movie.
So boom, they go to the piracy app, which is hidden in another app, and High Five's like, yeah, where would you hide a piracy app inside a maps thing? And this is where the trolls are, because there's trolls there, there's viruses there, there's spam there, there's a Trojan horse. So they go and they talk to the Trojan horse, and he turns around and there's something inside him because he's a Trojan horse. And so the thing inside him is able to answer the question, which is basically pointing to Jailbreak, who's this hot sprite. And they go talk to her. She's got a knit cap and blue hair because she's so alternative.
Oh, yeah. She's a rebel.
And she's like, I'm not interested in helping you. And they're all like, oh.
Darn.
And then the bots show up, and then he makes different faces, and she's all like, I can use you. Okay, she can use him. So then there's tense music, and then she just immediately takes them to a secret tunnel, and they immediately escape, and it's very easy.
Yeah. It's very easy and very uninteresting.
Then they end up at Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Let's see. So then they're in Candy Crush, and we'll talk about Candy Crush in a second. Meanwhile, Alex talks to Addie. Addie's the girl, so we have Alex and Addie. Alex, Addie, 2 A names. Don't know why you would do that. That's insane.
You only have 2 humans with names in the entire movie.
Even his friend doesn't get a name, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. And then his phone does something crazy, and it embarrasses him. If they're in Candy Crush, how's the phone doing something crazy?
Because it's making the game sounds.
Candy Crush sounds, you mean?
I mean, that's what they're telling. It's not sounds that actually come out of Candy Crush, as far as I know. But yeah, so the game is essentially playing Candy Crush because the emojis went into the world, which doesn't make sense because when you're in Textopolis, you're not doing anything on the phone until he triggers it.
Yeah, but if they're
So how are they?
but
I
they
don't understand.
later on they do start to play Candy Crush, so maybe they were playing it during this and it
I
was
don't think
making
so,
noises.
Dan.
And she should have been like, "Oh, you play Candy Crush? You suck." That's exactly what the girl should have said.
Nerd. Yeah,
That would have been funny. That would have made sense. He's
yeah,
like,
but it doesn't.
"No, I don't play Candy Crush." See, you're playing Candy Crush right there. He's like, "No," and then
Yeah.
poor Gene's caught in the thing, and he's almost dying because Alex is playing Candy Crush so badly.
And then maybe Alex would recognize the emoji in Candy Crush because it's weird and be like, "What's going on?"
I don't understand. It's so strange. He turned into Pat. I don't understand. So then our guys have to break him out of Candy Crush, and they do that by playing it. And they're worried he's going to die, but he doesn't die, and he ends up in a thing of candies. And then we find out that High Five is a glutton.
Yeah. Which doesn't really make sense, but it does offer my only laugh of the movie, I
Oh,
think.
wow. So that's good. So Alex makes an appointment to get his phone fixed because he's tired of being embarrassed by it. Smiler starts to freak out because they're going to erase the phone.
It's weird because that is exactly how they frame it. He's embarrassed by the phone.
Yeah.
But the phone is doing things on its own. There's something wrong with the phone. It's not embarrassing. It's not like, oh, my phone is so embarrassing. No, there's something wrong with it, guy. It's doing things on its own. It's not listening to you. There's something wrong with the phone.
Do we have like a nice call where he calls tech support and he says things like that in an emotional way? Or does he just like, guess I'll do something with my phone?
Yep. That's about it.
Doesn't power
it.
Does he ever power down his phone during class so it doesn't embarrass him?
Nope, doesn't power it off. Doesn't try to reset it, which is your first step in IT checking. Did you turn it off and turn it on again?
Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything that every one of us would do if our phone was embarrassing us.
Nope, sure doesn't.
Okay, so we find out that what they need to do is they need to go to the cloud, but to get to the cloud, you have to walk through Just Dance, which doesn't make any sense because they've been walking around they should just be able to walk.
They just walk in between apps all the time. Doesn't make any sense.
But this time they got to go to Just Dance to get to Dropbacks, to get to the cloud, and then they're going to face the firewall, and then with his ability to change faces, they're going to be able to trick the firewall. It's like, yes.
Is that like yes? That
the parents go to YouTube, and then there's like this weird guy, and I didn't know what it was, but I was watching this one video about this, and it's some guy whose name is like Pumpkin McPumpkin Face or something really weird, and he was like making fun of the whole thing because he was like, "This is how they chose to like talk about YouTube is like by putting this completely irrelevant thing in there that no one knows what it is except a few people." And then the parents put on.
When's the cat video? Is that later?
Parents put on cat videos to distract the bots.
Because I do love that cat video.
And then we have the worst thing in this whole movie. His parents decide to separate.
They what?
The parents decide to separate.
They do?
They break up.
Oh, that's right, because they come back together at the fountain.
They break up.
I remember that.
Their relationship breaks up.
I don't even remember them doing that. Why did they break up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They separate, which I think they broke up, but I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, weird. Yeah. I mean, listen, they're both very dull people.
So to get to where are we heading? We're heading to the dance thing. They have to walk through these numbers. High Five eats candy. There's all this stuff about candy. Jailbreak wants to leave because there's too many rules. And then High Five's like, how does she exist? There's no hacker emoji. We get to the dance game. Do you want to talk about the Dance Revolution or whatever it is?
I wish it was DDR. Dance Dance Revolution was one of my favorite games growing up. In high school, listen to this, Dan. In high school, we
Listen to
used to
this.
have parties where we would get together and we would just DDR. I had 2 pads and we would just play. I think PlayStation 2 had it. I think it was 2 at that point. And
Yeah.
we would just DDR all night. We would do that. And we'd also karaoke Revolution because that comes with a little microphone. You got to hit the notes the whole time. We played those games to death. We were cool kids. I don't know. People may not recognize that as cool, but it was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
But that's not what this is. This is Just Dance, which is a game where you basically just mimic the person on screen, and there's very little feedback of whether you're actually doing it right or not.
So you don't die if you do it wrong?
Nope. See, and that's where I get upset. So Candy Crush, I understand, right?
Yeah.
Because Candy Crush, you're matching things and they're disappearing. I get that.
Sure.
In Just Dance, you're just dancing. You can fail if you're not following along. You can fail, but you don't fall down a pit. You just restart.
Yeah.
You just start the dance over again. It's not a dangerous game.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they would change the game for the movie.
Because it's a movie.
Okay, but it's not a good movie.
So of course, High Five, Incredible Dancer, the Emoji Gene. I just burped. He's also an incredible dancer because he can make many faces, which
doesn't make sense.
Absolutely is the key. And then Hackbot with a
terrible dancer.
Jailbreak. It's a terrible dancer. So how do they get Jailbreak to become a great dancer?
They just I think they just tell her to, and then our guy is like, "Here, I'll spin you," and then she's a great dancer.
Tony,
am I close?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Tony, talk about dance. Tony is a good dancer. Actually, I take that back. Tony's a very good dancer.
Well, thanks, Dan.
You're a very good dancer.
Know how I learned?
How'd you learn?
My father once told me, "Hey, dance," and then I just danced, and I was great. Because that's how it works.
I don't believe that's what happened.
I should have said my mom. I don't know why I went with my dad. My dad would never say that. That story fell apart immediately. I apologize.
What the story should have been was your dad said, "You better dance incredibly right now, or I'll kill you."
Or and you will be murdered.
You dance incredibly.
I took dance lessons for like a decade.
Really, for 10 years you took dance lessons. Really.
I don't know if it was quite 10, but it was years.
A lot of
years and years. Yeah. We were at a place called Metro Dance. It's still there. If you're in Minnesota, go check it out. It's a great little place. It's run by the Woods now. Brad and Colleen Wood.
Oh.
Doesn't really matter. I don't know why I'm pitching this place, but it's great. It's where I grew up. It's a wonderful little place. Dance, it's like any other thing. You have someone teach you, and then you do it a bunch and you get good, right?
Were you a good dancer the first day you walked in there?
Oh, no, I was, I'm still not sure I was at any point in time during that if I was good. I also took dance in college and I was, got better there. We did some freeform stuff, some modern dance and some tap. But I mean, when I first started, I was a short, pudgy little guy. I looked like a goofball. There's some dance. Maybe I should find those for you guys. There's some videos of recitals, and I was adorable, and I'm having a good time. I'm a ham, so like I'm into it. I'm having a good time.
Really, no one would have ever guessed that, Tony.
I mean, as a kid, as a child, I was very, I was into it. I was having fun. Technically not the best. My moves aren't, pristine, but I was always having fun, and I was a showman. So that's why my parents were like, "Yeah, we'll keep him in. He'll have fun." And my sister danced, so yeah, it's a whole thing.
So what you're saying is, to become good at dancing, it's not just about one person one time telling you to be good at dancing. You actually have to do something to become good at dancing. You can
have a natural rhythm, for sure. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. But actually, the dancing part would take a little work.
Mm-hmm. So
have you seen Hitch? This is a prime example from Hitch. Do you remember Hitch with Will Smith?
With Will Smith, I have.
Kevin, what's his name?
Is that the superhero movie, or is that him telling him how to be movie?
No, that's Hancock is the superhero movie. Hitch is like he's Will Smith plays like a matchmaker type guy. So he's teaching Kevin James how to like pick up with women. So he's teaching him to dance. And there's a great scene where he's trying to teach him to dance, and you can't just do it in a day, right? Yeah, it's the only good scene in that movie, if I remember correctly. Maybe we should do that in February.
Maybe we should. So them telling her just to be good at dancing, her become good at dancing was
Doesn't make any sense.
another of my least favorite parts of this movie, where you're just like, figure out a clever way to do it, like put her on your back, do something, like
Put her on your back. I'm into that. Yeah, like a 2-person mimic dance.
yeah,
That's fun.
that'd be fun. Then the bots show up, and then this, I must say, this is one thing I do. The bots show up. Where are we? And then the bots download a dance program, and then they do a dance. Their dance, super cool. You know
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. I don't know why they can dance, but it's good.
Alex's phone continues to embarrass him. He deletes the dance app, and then they fall to their deaths. Anyways, I think, right? Don't they?
Now, let's just. I need to think about this, Dan.
Oh no! Hold on. That's not what happens.
Okay.
He deletes the apps. Then the bad guys, they're crawling out through a thing, and then the bad guys get high five. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's essentially what happens.
Yeah, what are you saying, Tony?
Well, that's just not how apps are deleted, and so it's confusing to me. But that's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm over it.
Does he have an iPhone or does he have like a Android?
I mean, they don't make. They don't actually make a call, but it's definitely an iPhone for 2 reasons. Number one, the Square apps are all over the home page. In an Android, you make like folders, and it's very nice. It's very different. It's a very different layout, right? The UI is totally different. My reason number 2 is there are no Android stores, so he's not going to go into an Android store later and be like, hey, reset my phone. He would have to go into his carrier's store. And he's definitely in an Apple store talking to an Apple genius when he gets it.
Isn't that how I don't know, you delete a thing by holding your finger down on it and then it starts blinking and then you delete it.
Yeah, that's how you do it on an iPhone. Yeah, for sure. What I mean is that's not how the app would delete itself.
You mean it wouldn't turn into a pile of rubble where everything's dying?
Correct.
Dying
That's
on
what
the
I
floor?
mean. Yeah, it would disappear.
Yeah.
Right? It would be like things just disintegrate and they're inside it, so they would disintegrate.
Nope.
So
they're left in a big pile on the floor.
Yeah, no, that's not really how. Because here's how I know that's not how it happens. Because on your phone, once you delete it, it's just gone. There's not like a pile of goo where it used to be on your phone.
I think the FBI, when they like redo things, they can find that little goo and then make it real again, can't they?
I mean, that's probably true. I'm not an FBI agent.
Okay, you're wrong again, Tony. So then Gene is like, we gotta save High Five. He's my friend. I can't be mad. And then she's all like, I'm falling in love with you because you're cool.
What?
She's falling in love with him. Sort of.
I mean,
sort of.
Yeah, she said it. She's saying it. You're saying it. I still don't buy it. Now, if other people weren't allowed to have emotions, like they keep telling me is the case, but it's not the case at all.
But it's not emotions. It's just make different faces.
Right, but then other people can make faces. The only people that can't make other faces are the people that are faces. So what is the same rule to other emojis that is the equivalent of that?
Pizza can't turn into a poop emoji.
Okay. Can he though? Like I don't think that's even possible.
No, because only Gene has this power.
But he doesn't.
He can make stars in his eyes. Stars.
But he can't turn into other emojis. He can only turn into other face emojis. Yeah. He can just change his face. Everyone can change their face. I disagree.
No,
this is a rule.
Smiler can't change her face. She can have different emotions, but she can't change her face appreciably.
That's what I'm saying, because she is a face emoji.
Yeah, and he's a face emoji too.
Pizza can make any face he wants.
But he's not.
Poop can make any face he wants. High Five makes tons of faces.
No, but High Five never makes the stars. Stars! Heart eyes. He can't make heart eyes. That's
true.
His skill. His skill is that he can make the subtle range of face emotions. It's not even emotions.
This is what you're going to pitch to me. If we're in the room, that's what you're going to pitch me.
Well, that's what he does at the end. Okay, here's what's your character's thing? Well, he's the only face thing that can go through stars and then hearts and then nose snot, and then tongue.
Uh,
That's what he's.
uh-huh.
That's why he's broken, but
That's
special.
why he's special.
Those are his special things. Not like
It's dumb.
not like stupid Nemo with his little stupid fin. I mean, the stupid fin.
But his dad can. Oh my god!
I hate that
We
so
have
much.
to do Nemo. I just want to hear you talk about Nemo for an hour. So I feel like we do have to do that movie at some point.
That'll be the last one of these we ever do, Tony.
That'll be you'll quit. You'll quit on me, or I'll be fired. That would be the really. You're not going to quit. It's your podcast.
No, I'd have to quit because you do all the work.
Now, all I was going to say is, if he really was truly different from everyone she'd ever met, I would understand it more. I just don't feel like he's different enough from everybody else.
No, I know what you're saying. I get you. I mean, I think that the idea is baked in here so deeply that you don't get it when you're watching the movie, but it is there. They're all like, "Yes, it makes perfect sense." They don't really show it, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's stupid, but it is there.
I mean, okay. Listen, if that's what you want to go with, I get it.
I mean,
But
I can write down on a page what it is. This movie, it's not all that,
Sure.
what it is he has the ability to take on any of the different
Face emojis,
and then do them as an animation, essentially. He can go
But
from
now
this
why-
to that to that, and that makes him a
Sure.
weirdo. And so what it should have been really is he should have been doing that. It shouldn't have been him being excited. He should sit there and they're like, do the man, then he'd be like, okay, man, I'm trying to, he should be cycling through all these things constantly.
Sure. Yeah.
And his face is just like this, this canvas that's out of control. That's what it should be. And it's about him getting control of this canvas and actually being able to express himself through it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
But that's not what this movie does.
It's not what this movie does at all. Why is he's trying to go make himself met?
Yeah, he's trying to.
I don't even get
well,
it.
He should be like multiple personalities. He's all like, I need all these personalities out of my head. I don't want to be this and this and this and this. There's many ways you could have tried to do this. The way they chose didn't work.
Was to not do it. That's what they chose.
Okay, so Smiler upgrades the bots. Now they're more dangerous. High Five is in the trash. We're all going to die. He reads an email that Alex sent where he used inserting an emoji or something. I don't know.
Now, how did he... you know what? I'm not even going to worry about
They
it.
go to Spotify. They're traveling through Spotify on a boat, and then this is the point where they fall in love because they're in a boat and it's going slow. Why they're in Spotify, we don't know. Alex is...
Also, I don't even understand their use of Spotify. They're riding the sound waves?
in a boat.
In a boat?
So they could...
How is that Spotify?
Because that's how they fall in love.
Nope, you're not answering my question, Dan. How is that the embodiment of Spotify?
Because... I think you might have one here, Tony. Alex says, let's go to the promenade. And then we find out that she's she does a whole feminist thing where he's all like, did you know that the first women emojis were the princess and the bride? Well, at least it wasn't the princess, the bride, and the whore. You got that going for you.
Because they could have gone that way.
And that's why she wants to leave. You want out, but I want, and then he wants in, and then she's like, just be yourself. You're cool just the way you are. High Five thinks he's going to die.
Because here's the thing, Dan, he is cool just the way he is. If he can just control his face, he's fine.
Yeah.
There's no problem.
Control your face. You got to control your face. You're hired as a meh. He's all like, yes, I just kept doing meh when they were hiring me, and now I can't do meh. And they're like, oh, but you have to do meh.
Right. But here's my problem is, what's the parable
Dad
to that?
took his picture, and he was just on
Practice.
Yeah, like, I'm holding meh. Okay, I got your picture. Here's the picture. Use that to, I don't know.
Yeah. what's the parable to that though? Like what is the lesson you're trying to teach someone where they have to use one face and it's okay to use more faces?
This is about being yourself.
It's not though.
No, it's not.
That's my problem. Is that it's not like
the movie says
I
it's
understand
about
what
that.
you're saying.
That's what the movie says. It's about being yourself, but it's not about that.
But
at
it's
all.
not. But it's not about that because he's still.
Man.
I don't know.
Okay, so Gene is in
I
the
don't know.
bad place. No, Gene goes to the bad place. It goes down, picks up High Five. They pull High Five out. High Five gets emotional. Meanwhile, his mom is in Instagram. Mel shows up, and I was looking for you. This is my fault.
Hold on. This is the best part of the movie.
Okay, yeah.
So the mom's sitting on the fountain, right? She saw wah wah. She's sad, and then we cut to an angle that can only ever be used in horror movies, where it's somebody watching her in first person view, and then it says, "I've been waiting for you." That guy's there to kill her. 100%. I laughed so hard during this scene. I don't know who thought that this was like a weird romantic thing. He's creeping on her through the fountain and just says, "I've been waiting for you." He's going to kill her.
And then he admits his dark secret, which is he has other expressions, which he doesn't. Does he do them?
Yeah, he does a couple. He shows her a couple.
And then
now,
they talk about love, and then they're like, let's go find our son.
Here's where I get weird again, because now I feel like everyone can do the faces.
No, just his genetic lineage.
It's just his genetic, his coding, his code lineage.
When the dad impregnated the mom and put a baby inside her, and that baby was Gene. Some of his genetic material that was his material.
Yeah, okay.
And so Gene has that power.
So then here's the end of the movie, though. Let me just ask you, shouldn't they just kill them both?
He also has breasts.
Wait, hold on. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So now he has revealed that he also is a quote unquote malfunction.
But he's not. He is. You know what he is? He's a mutant. He's an evolution. And remember in the Marvel universe, the humans, Homo sapiens, are always trying to kill Homo superior. Gene and his dad are Homo superior. They have to remain hidden.
Sure.
They have to hide in the shadows.
Sure.
Until they can impregnate more.
and give some more of their genetic material. I get it. Now,
can you imagine what happens if he makes a baby with the princess?
No, because here's Dan. The princess can do anything she wants to, right? So I understand what you're saying is the face is the thing, but that's not what they tell me throughout this movie. It's very hard for me to wrap my head around that because it's all about personality. Because the parents are meh personalities, and he changes his face. Why don't they just delete both of them? Because they are malfunctions then.
Yeah,
because
if
none of the other faces can do it,
they should be killed.
They should be killed. I don't know what else to say. Like
they should be killed.
I don't understand the moral of the movie.
Because truthfully, if you have Gene, you don't need any of the other faces.
You sure don't. You only need one guy. You know what? This should actually be a movie about him butchering everybody else. I am the only one.
Yes. Okay, so the Superbots, here comes the Superbot. They all come back. They're running. And so then they all run around in different things to tangle up the Superbot.
Which doesn't make any sense.
And they escape, and that works, and they escape to the Dropbox. And then they ride the cloud to the firewall.
Now, why is Dropbox... What am I trying to say?
Because they paid the money.
So, no, I mean, I know why they're in the movie.
Because they paid the money.
I don't understand. So she's like, we have to escape to the cloud.
Yeah, because the cloud is everything. Everything's on the cloud.
Right. So I'm trying to understand just...
And you know how you put stuff on the cloud is through Dropbox.
It's, first of all, not how I do it. If I
No,
put
no,
anything
I
on
think
Dropbox,
so.
it's because I'm sending it to somebody else.
No.
It doesn't stay.
That's where
It doesn't stay on
That's
there.
where you're wrong, Tony. When you're
No.
sending something to the cloud, the first thing you do is you
No.
upload it to a separate program from everything, and then Dropbox throws it and it lands in the cloud.
And then it's just in the ether?
Yes.
Because first of all, the cloud is a set of data centers, right? I mean, that's what the cloud is.
No, it's this. There were these sort of structures, and there were clouds.
No.
That's what the cloud was.
No. I'm saying in the real world, the cloud is just like a mainframe somewhere else. It's just not on your local device, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
In your
I don't
simplistic
understand.
world,
In
in your non-textopolis world.
It's called the real world because they're just confusing. It's just, I don't understand. The plan is to get into the cloud. Then what's in the cloud exactly?
Freedom. You can do anything.
Can you?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You can do anything. Where is she going to? There doesn't seem to be a world in the cloud to go to.
There's all these clouds. Then there are these geometric structures.
But will she be the only emoji there? She's going to be very lonely in the cloud, to me, is what it seems.
Unless Gene puts his genetic material inside. And she could be a single mother in the cloud.
Which is, yeah, no, that's good. You're right. That's what she wants.
Okay.
Infinite world to be the only two people alive.
So the cloud is amazing. So they get into the cloud through. Addie has the password and high five. It says something from the trash, and they get in there, and the cloud's amazing. And then
so this is where they have to hack the password, and he keeps getting zapped.
Yeah,
right.
It was really funny.
And then wasn't really funny. No. Because here's two things that I'm going to say. One,
say two things.
If you get your password wrong, you only have a certain amount of attempts before your app will lock. That is just a general safety measure that is everywhere now. You only get so many chances, and it's like you're locked out for 5 minutes. That didn't happen in this movie. They just tried 50 different things. Number two.
I don't think they tried 50 things. I think they tried like 3 or 4 things.
Okay. Yeah, you saw all the attempts. His password, let's just talk about this for a second. His password is the name of a girl he's got a crush on.
Wait, his name is the password's name was Addie the girl?
Correct.
Okay, that's
because then they have
creepy.
to go.
That's
what I'm saying.
Really weird. I missed that.
It's super because they have to go through the email in the trash to the letter he wrote to the girl he likes, and then they're like, Addie, her name's Addie. That's the password.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. And that's the lesson we're trying to teach to little kids here.
So they get in there. Like I said, they saw the cloud, and then I want to stay with you. I had a plan, but I don't know what happened.
Is this where she's hacking now? Are we finally to the hack part?
No, she's in the cloud.
Isn't that where she does the hacking?
I don't know.
To change him?
Oh, maybe she does. Yeah, maybe when the kid's in the cloud, she turns him into a man. Sure. Why not?
Or she doesn't. She almost does, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. This movie's confusing, but I think she's in the cloud, and that's where she does the hacking, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think she turns it back into a meh, or he's like, "You want to stay here, but I got to go back," and then he becomes a meh because they don't get to be together.
He becomes a meh because she breaks up with him.
Yeah, she breaks up with him. So he becomes a meh, then he goes back.
Well, hold on, though, but he doesn't become a meh. There's two. It's very distinct because he went with her to the cloud so she would hack in and reprogram him to be a meh. Yeah. But instead, she breaks up with him, and immediately this guy goes full depression and is like, "You don't even need to change me anymore because I'm so broken that you left me that I am now a meh forever."
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's not what should happen, Dan.
No, that's what happened.
I understand that's what did happen. That's not what he should be reprogrammed into a meh.
Yes.
And then he has to undo his meh reprogramming because he realizes, wait a second, I'm not broken after all.
I need to save Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Exactly. But instead, he's just like, oh, I'm a whiny little bitch and you broke up with me. So now I have no personality?
And what it should have been was she should have said, I couldn't reprogram you. You're still the same. You've just chosen to be meh. And then he's all like, I've just chosen to be mad. I don't want to be mad.
Great.
I want to be me. I want to be who I am.
I love that. That's a wonderful ending.
See,
that's not the ending of this movie.
This is how hard it is to fix a stupid movie like this. Is you have two idiots stuck on the computer for an hour and 24 minutes, and wow, we've solved all the problems of your dumb movie.
Yeah, well, maybe not all of them, because again, the premise flawed to begin with.
So High Five and Jailbreak are all like, "We got to go save him," and then she like summons birds because she's actually the princess, and everybody said this 12 times, and the Twitter bird comes down.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, is this a running joke that I missed at some
point?
They
said that joke like 3 times during the movie. They're like, "Oh, the princess,
wow.
She can just whistle, and then birds will come from the sky." And she's all like, "That's not a thing. That's not a thing." And then she's like, "Yes, it is a thing." And we're all like, I don't understand why. How is
I don't understand.
That's not a thing in my computer. That's not a thing in the emoji. It's not a thing.
How, and like the Twitter bird, right?
Yeah.
Or excuse me, the X bird. The X-Wing. I don't understand. How does it shut up? How does it cross into different apps? Because it doesn't seem to be intelligent.
It's a bird. It can fly.
So Twitter's just in all of your apps? It just doesn't make any sense.
I'm pretty sure Twitter is in all your apps.
Okay, well, you know what? You might actually not be wrong. Elon Musk crushing it out there. So
she gets back there, and his parents are there, and then Dad's like, Smiler's like, delete him. And then Dad's like, yeah, delete me too. And then Smiler's like, you're next. And then Dad's like, I should have believed in your son. And then High Five and Jailbreak show up. High Five then pushes a button to stop something. There's like a button. And they're like, don't push that button. And then High Five pushes the button.
Listen, all I want to talk about real quickly is the dad-son relationship here.
Yeah.
Because the dad, you're right. The dad is like, I'm sorry, I should have believed in you. You're not broken or whatever.
Watch the Chicken Little movie if you want to see a nice dad nut.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember Chicken Little.
It's a good movie. Real good.
I believe it.
Super fun. I loved it.
The problem is that
Pixar did not make that movie.
Oh, that's why you like it? Yeah, you sap. The dad does he even tell him that he can do the same thing?
I don't know.
Shouldn't that be like an issue?
I think the dad does say that I'm like,
shouldn't that be an issue where the dad's like, I'm sorry I lied to you. I could do it the whole time. Like, that's a weird.
I mean,
this
that's
needs
a real
to be
point,
a bigger deal.
Because I got the feeling that the dad just figured out that he could do it. But the dad really did know that he could do it all the time.
He had to have known the whole time because he was hiding it. He apologized to the wife and he's like, I'm sorry, I've been lying to you, basically.
Look at Tony. Tony just was emotional. That thing not in this movie.
I don't know. This is dumb. This is really dumb, Dan. We're almost to my laugh, though. We're almost there.
So they're deleting the phone, and then they're like, "Oh, the only way we can fix it." Oh, they're in the machine. Addie's in the machine. No, Addie's in the machine. Alex is there with Addie, and then they figure out that the only way that they can do things is to send him a text with the perfect emoji. Then we get a flashback montage, which I was just like, what the fuck? Why is there a flashback montage? And then I wrote, I like a guy. Oh, then they put the camera on him, the last thing before the phone becomes deleted, and it goes boop, and he goes like this, boop, 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 does 7 different faces, and then she sends it.
Yeah.
They send it to Addie's phone, and then she says, I like a guy that can express his feelings, which is not a thing he did. He sent her an emoji that was crafted by the emojis, and now she says, I'd love to go to the dance with you. And then he's like, oh, my phone did good. And he unplugs it so that it doesn't happen.
Right.
The delete doesn't happen, but it's already happened.
So they're deleting it. It's at 98% deleted.
Oh, did it say that? I don't remember that.
It didn't say it, but
it didn't say that.
The apps are disappearing, and there was only a couple of apps left. So it's high up there. But then all he does is unplug the power cord, and it stops deleting his phone. that doesn't make any sense, Dan.
Tony, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Here's the biggest question of them all.
All right, throw it at me.
Okay, here I like get my phone. I pick up my iPhone because I have an iPhone.
Yeah.
And I have a
course you do.
stupid Android with its like.
I've got one of each, Dan. I got 2 phones over here.
Okay, so I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get off the internet. I play too much Candy Crush. I play too much Pikmin Bloom.
Marvel Snap.
I played way too much Marvel Snap. I put myself on limits. I go off it for weeks at a time because I know I have to stop. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to delete all my apps. I delete the Marvel Snap. I delete the stock app because I'm always on the stock app. Stock app.
Is that true?
No, never on stock.
Do you have stocks? Are you a day trader and I don't even know
So
it?
I delete all my apps. All the apps gone.
Yeah, great.
What's still there on my phone?
Your OS.
No, all the emojis. All the emojis still there.
Oh, well, yeah, well, that's a given. Yeah.
You wipe a phone and you turn the phone back on, you know what's there? All the emojis.
Yeah, because they come with your OS, your operating system.
You couldn't delete the emojis if you wanted to, could you, Tony?
Well, no, but I do have a question.
Sure.
And this was bothering me the whole time. If you delete something and then reinstall it, which is what you're theoretically doing here, you think your memory isn't still cached, right? So all of those personalities should reset, shouldn't they?
I mean, is there going to be a brand new set of emojis? I mean, ostensibly, there would be a whole new set of emojis, I suppose.
Yeah, it would be a new creation. So then, basically, he should not exist anymore. His parents should be young again, and they should be the boy and girl, the faces for men.
Are there
theoretically?
Are there really male and female Mez?
I don't know, Dan. The movie is telling me there is. I don't know.
So because Alex pulls out the cord, nothing actually happened. Nothing got deleted.
Nothing got deleted?
Even though we watched everything get deleted. They weren't all deleted. And then everyone's like, Gene did it. And then they do the great chant, Gene, Gene, Gene.
Which
Gene.
still isn't a joke.
And then then we start a song and they end with the giant dance number.
And they do the emoji hop.
What
was it called?
They do the emoji pop dance, which is the dance that he made up, which maybe it was a dance. And then Alex dances dance too. No, he dances at the dance to the emoji pop. Tony, let's spend 30 seconds. Talk about the music in this movie.
I don't even remember it. If I'm being honest, like I couldn't tell you what any of the music was. And I just watched it last night.
Like I guess this last song is a Christina Aguilera song, which I would,
and I love her.
I would not have penned it. It uses a sample from some other like the Aha song or something. The two songs they use are very old, and I'm just like, if you're gonna make a terrible movie like this, fucking buy some decent songs.
It's tough. Song licensing is expensive.
Yeah, you have
That's it. That's all I was going to say.
A $50 million movie.
Yeah, well, you just saw it. This is definitely $50 million. You know what I'm saying?
You're making toys and all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Well, now, so we skipped over my joke. The one laugh I had. You ran right through it, and I didn't want to interrupt. You were on a flow. It was before they do the final emoji. The princess reveals herself in front of everyone to be the princess. First of all, I just want to say everybody looks shocked and scared. They all have faces. Now,
but did they have stars and hearts?
No,
and
they didn't.
Smiler?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't like it. I think it's dumb.
Like a series that conveys emotion, that convinces a girl that a kid has emotions because he sent a thing that he didn't send. No, that's the way their relationship.
That's just like a GIF, right? That's a GIF at that point.
Their whole relationship based on a lie, based on nothing that's real. So the thing that he does to impress the girl is not a thing he does, and it's not a thing that's an accurate representation of who he is.
The phone doesn't actually help him grow at all.
Nope.
Just to reiterate that point.
No growth.
Now what? Hold now.
Okay,
What?
what's the joke?
All this. This is and it's such. It's not even funny. It's kind of funny, but like now it's built up so much that it's just gonna be a letdown. So I'm just gonna do it real quickly. She reveals herself, and then her mother screams her name. She's like, Linda, and then the princess just turns and yells, "Not now, Mom!" And I laughed. And I thought that was funny. That's it. It's not even, it doesn't mean anything to the movie. It was just like a one emotional response because this movie is full of non-emotional responses. And it made me laugh.
There it is, the one joke.
So I wanted to say, good job,
Good job.
Emoji Movie. You got one. You got one.
You're one.
Good job.
You're 1 for 1. Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a good movie.
No, it's not a good movie.
Now, Dan.
Yeah.
So the resolution of the film is that the phone once again texts somebody without his permission,
Yes.
and his response to that is, you know what?
I need this
I think
phone.
I'm going to keep the phone. This phone's great.
Because it can get me girls. I would, if I was that age and my magic phone enticed girls into my web.
I would just be on my phone. Send another one. Send another. Send one to Jackie.
Send more.
Send one to Sarah.
Please send more. Don't stop. I love you.
What's wrong with you, phone? Do it. This is a dumb movie. It doesn't make any sense. I hate it.
He hates it. I thought I was actually fairly indifferent. It looked okay. I didn't think it looked terrible.
Oh yeah, no, animation's fine. Yeah. I have no problem with that.
There you go. Moving on.
Moving right along.
Okay, so you picked that movie. So now,
I did.
A little bit of bonus hate. We watched The Killer on Netflix.
Oh no, it's not good. It's on my list. I want to see it.
Well, you should move it from the list of something you want to see to movies
to something I want to hate.
Don't make me watch this movie again, because
okay, no, I won't. You already watched it. You blew it.
And things I like this week. We started watching Murder at the End of the World. That's the new Britt Marling TV show. Of course, I loved it.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's good.
I loved it.
Okay.
Shannon, there's a couple things Shannon found very pretentious, but I was like, I love pretension.
Sure. Yeah, I'm okay with it too. Let's be honest.
And then I started the Monarch, the Godzilla TV show.
Oh.
Really enjoyed that. Some of the writing, there's a couple things that you're kind of like, that's weird. But the dude is, what's his name's, Kurt Russell's kid is playing him young.
Interesting.
And it's like, it's super amazing because you're like, you're cool. Supposed to be Kurt Russell. I didn't realize it was his kid initially. And then you heard the voice, and I was like, wait, what's happening?
Wait,
and I looked it up, and I was like,
second.
oh yeah, that's his kid. And it's because that voice is so particular. You're like, I
like him. I think he's doing some good stuff. I think
I did not like.
What's his name? Wyatt.
Wyatt. I did not like him in the
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. I didn't finish that. I thought he was miscast in that, but there was something else I watched him in that I loved him to death in.
He's in the Mormon Hulu murder show with Andrew Garfield.
He was incredible.
Unreal. Yeah.
Incredible. So what do you got for us, Tony?
Well, Dan, you're not going to like my answers. As per usual, I want to say two things. One, it was announced yesterday, I think, that Love Island USA has been renewed for 2 new seasons, baby. We're getting to season 7 at least on Peacock. So if you're not subscribed to Peacock out there, get it. Watch Love Island. Love Island Games is on right now. It's getting close to the end. I mean, we are in a mecca of Love Island. I love it. Australia, USA, UK. I think there's there's a bunch of them. You can have a great time with it. The other thing we're doing is we're watching the Holiday Baking Championship because it's getting to that time of the season, and it's just wonderful. It's just so fun. I just love it so much. And the host, Jesse Palmer, who also hosts The Bachelor, terrible show. He's just really good. He's really charming. I really like him outside of The Bachelor. I think he's really great.
There it is, outside of The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So next week, I went and I was like, tell me the worst movies of 2019.
Is that how you found
That's
that? You just searched for worst movies of 2019?
You can't
I
do
love
this
it.
because
That's
I
brilliant.
need these. These are in my supply. You can search.
All right, I
you
won't
can
do
go to
2019.
You can do 16 or 17 or 18 or 2020. I don't care.
I'm going to do 22.
Don't do 18 because I got one that's I think it's an 18 that I want to do. So I was
All
like,
right.
oh, let's look down these movies, and then I'm like, boom, 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 and I'm like, Ryan Reynolds, yes, please.
Ryan Reynolds, 2018. That guy was on fire.
Yeah, who's the guy that did Con Air? What's that guy's name?
Nicolas Cage
did the
name.
movie.
I'm not sure. I don't know who.
You know who made that movie? It's what's his name?
I'm sure I do.
Can't think of his name.
What else did he do?
He did
Simon West.
No, he the director of the movie.
Yeah, Con Air, directed by Simon West. Says it right here.
What?
I don't know. That's what IMDb says.
Con Air? It's Michael Bay. That's who did that.
Michael Bay didn't do Con Air. He did The Rock with Nicolas Cage.
He didn't do Con Air?
No, he didn't do Con Air. Con Air's way too fun for him.
Oh, well, this is a Michael Bay movie from 2019. Ryan Reynolds, Netflix only, 6 Underground.
I don't know what this is. I'm so confused right now.
I'm so happy.
I don't believe I've ever heard of this in my entire life.
I'm so happy. A movie from 2019.
Are you sure? Are you sure this is real?
Are you sure this is a movie? It's like Ryan
6
Reynolds.
Underground 2019 film. It says it right here. Wow.
And I guess
I don't know any of the other people in it.
I guess he assembles.
Oh, wait. Dave Franco's in it.
Oh, Dave Franco can be okay. So he assembles a team, and then they do action adventure stuff.
But underground? Is this a sewer movie?
And for a second there, I was like, "Wait, did I already see this movie?" So I had to put it on to make sure, because I was thinking it was like Free Guy, because Free Guy had a lot.
I love Free Guy. Free Guy was great.
It was okay.
It was great when he whips out all those Disney things at the end because they gave him license. Great for them. That was great. Lightsaber, the Captain America shield. I like that movie. I've seen it a couple times. I enjoy it.
Well, this one, who knows? You might like this movie. It's action adventure.
I haven't heard of this movie. That doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, it must have happened maybe during COVID or right before COVID. I don't know.
I mean, I guess. Huh.
In the last years, we were all
all right. Let's see.
That
is what
we were all watching Tiger King, and before 6 Underground came out. And I guess they were going to do a sequel, and then they looked at the numbers, and I think they said this thing had, in the first week alone, it had 86 million views.
Wow. Okay.
And
it feels like a lot.
It feels like a lot, and that's the thing of the world we live in. This movie could get 86 million watches, and no one cares. And it's already forgotten.
I'm curious on what the breakdown of location would be, because that's not 86 million, United States, right? It's got to be global. So I wonder, maybe we just missed it. I don't know. Maybe it's big overseas. I don't know.
But it doesn't matter.
Or maybe I'm just an idiot and I just don't know this movie, and a lot of people watched it. I don't know.
And that's the thing with those movies is they come on Netflix. They get played. That's why I thought Black Hat was a Netflix movie. I thought for sure it just had gone up there, boom, and disappeared beneath the waves. They spent whatever money they spent on it.
A lot.
But they were going to make another one, and then they, like a year or two later, they're like, yeah, we're not.
Oh, shoot. I want a sequel. You know what? Let's hold off until next week, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to want a sequel.
So that's what we're doing next week.
All right, 6 Underground, even though they're above ground. I already don't like the name.
So leave us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, or subscribe. These are all things you can do to help us grow.
Not that anyone wants to help us grow.
No, actually some people do.
I think they want to keep us niche. Is that it?
Yeah, that's where they want to keep us, in their niche.
In their quiche?
In their
quiche.
So we'll be back next week talking about Ryan Reynolds and 6 Underground, and Tony's probably going to love it.
Probably. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch him!